Hey guys, this is Mike with Aviation Training Foundation LLC. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about the Cessna 172. It's just over my shoulder here. But it is our standard 172 G1000 unit that we sell. And we get a lot of questions, usually pertaining to what's included and then of course the price point. So let me go ahead and flip the camera around and kind of show you. So this is, again, the 172. So you can see this one here in particular is a pro assembly package. So it does have the stitching and the glare shield upholstery, and there is glare shield lighting. And then it's got the full assortment of instruments. We use the fulcrum yoke, and these are customized for us. These have a custom shaft length. And the next set of these yokes I order, we're gonna extend that probably about another inch. But it has a custom shaft length for us. Also, we are working on a motorized version of the trim wheel that we'll be coming out with here soon. But for now, this is the trim wheel that we're using from Flight Velocity. But you can see here a couple of the things to talk about from the differences of what you're going to find out in the market. First of all, the upholstery work here is done by a real aviation professional who does aircraft upholstery. The panel is 2.5 millimeter aluminum, so this is just like what you're going to have in the real aircraft. That is aluminum. It's not plastic. There's nothing cheap about it. We really go for the realism and professionalism of what we offer and what we bring to the table. So the craftsmanship on these things are really, really nice. The standby instrument panel that is in this unit is the same standby instrument panel essentially that we sell on our website. This one in particular we embed from the rear, and the aluminum becomes the faceplate of that panel. And that just gives us a more realistic look to the real aircraft. You can see here, this is the G1000 switch panel that we currently sell. We have a new design coming for this, so the layout's going to slightly change, not a whole lot, but the potentiometers here, these are actually going to be controlling lighting via software. And as that happens, we'll be coming out with new iterations of all of our other panels so that the backlighting can be controlled via software and not have to worry about any type of hardware connection like we've had to do so far. You can see here, there's our pause button. These are the real SimGear G1000s. Now this can be done with the Aviatech G1000s as well. And then as we come over here, we've got a Hobbs meter and we've got ELT. Now you'll see here that the ELT does work. However, there's no sound at the moment because the aircraft we have in X-Plane does not have a working ELT. But some of the payware models and some of the other models out there do, and that can be programmed to operate that. So if we come down here, you can see here we do have our fuel selector, our fuel cutoff, and then our breaker panel and our key. Now this unit here is, we've been going through some design changes. This in particular right now is still the real hardware, but the actual hardware for the real aircraft is getting so expensive that we just can't keep maintaining that. So we're going through a redesign right now. We're going to actually be manufacturing these from scratch. And that's pretty much it on this side. Now, keep in mind that back here we're in the testing and cleaning up phase, so it's not fully put together. So you'll see right here, this is the main power. That's actually going to be going into a small panel right here in the back corner of the cover. And just to show you what that cover looks like, this is the cover, and that's where that little panel goes. And then that will seat in there, and there's an on and off switch on that. And then if you look up inside here, you can see we got the Hobbs, ELT, there's your power strip. And then down here, kind of behind everything, I don't know if I can get a good angle on it, but you'll see your USB hub. Yep, there it is. So your USB hub's inside there. Now all these cables that you see wrapped up here, again, this is just testing. That'll all be cleaned up, and that'll all be internal with the exception of any of the HDMI cables that need to come out, and of course the power cable. And that'll be the main power cable. Everything else will be enclosed completely within inside the unit. The 12 volt power supply you can see is right here. That is what's running the Hobbs. And now I don't know if you can hear the ticking. It's kind of hard to hear, but the Hobbs is running right now. Yeah, it's clicking, but it's not. It's going to take a few for that thing to turn. But that is tied into the master battery. So if I flip off the master battery here, you'll see I lost the avionics. And then if I come over here, that's no longer ticking. So I'll go ahead and flip it back on now. Yeah, so I don't know if this is picking it up. I'll try to get a better video of that with the audio increase so you can actually hear it. Come around this side. You see, so we got the real sim gear units up top, the standby instrument panel, and then the back of the G1000 unit. And all of the wiring that then connects from here to the Hobbs meter is all done through a small relay. And I don't know if I can get a good visual of that relay. Let me see. Yeah, not yet. So I'll do another video on that as well. But it's a real tiny little relay that uses more or less a transistor. So it's not actually a relay, but we call it a relay. Same mechanics. So anyway, the seat that's going into these, for the most part, we build these on a motorized height adjustable desk, and you can pull your own seat up to it. So you don't have to use anything from us. But we are working on a seat frame that will allow you to mount your rudders. And then this is the seat that will be coming standard on all of our units. So this will get mounted to that frame. And you see it's a very, very nice seat, and it's got real nice stitching. So it looks really good. Now I have been looking for seats that actually mimic the aircraft, but have a hard time finding them. But this looks really good and it's really comfortable. So this is what we're going to run with for now until we come up with some better options and better solutions. But anyway, I hope that answers some of your questions as to what's included, right? So the top unit here, which is your desktop mounted unit that mounts right on top of the desk, right? Then you got a pedestal that mounts up underneath, and there are the mounting clamps that come with that. And then also when you purchase, you can purchase it in a variety of different ways. So you can purchase this thing empty and then add all your components. You can do just the desktop unit or just the desktop unit and the pedestal. And then if you do that without the Pro Assembly package, it comes like this with the plastic. There is a trim piece that goes on here. It's not on this unit yet. It'll go on tomorrow. But it will more or less look like this one. And then if you do the Pro Assembly package, we'll assemble the whole thing. So you won't have to sit here and put in each of the components, wire it all up yourself. But that is part of the reason too for the price variations, is because the labor and time to do that and test it is one of the biggest factors. All right. And then from here, you have the option to build out or buy a full simulator. And with that, you get the 3 screens. And this is customizable. It does not have to be this. It can be 3 55-inch, or we can do 1 49-inch ultra wide. It really just depends on the customer. But our standard build comes with these 3 screens here that are curved 27-inch. Actually, those aren't it. This is it here. This is the standard one. So you can see the bezels are very, very thin. And I'll show you the back of the screens here. So this is the standard that we sell with our units. So these are 27-inch curved screens. They're 155 hertz on the refresh rate. And then on any of the units like I'm talking about over here, it'll be on the desk just like this one. It used to be a steel top, but we're having a hard time getting those lately. And then the other side of that is the amount of work that goes into that. So we're getting away from that. So it'll just be more or less this wood top. And then there's a power strip on the back of the unit that all the monitors and everything feed into. So you flip this switch, and then ultimately that turns the power on to everything else. There's one other switch here that separates the 2 units, but this one in particular is all you'll end up needing. And sorry, I'm not paying attention to the camera here, but you'll flip that switch and it'll fire up everything once we get to that point. And then the control unit for the motorized desk is on the pilot side here. So you'll be able to raise and lower the desk. All right, and then as far as a PC goes, we're using PCs from X-Force PC, and we're looking at a few others right now with Steger Dynamics. So for the actual specs on the PC, that'll all be listed on our website. And then if you've got any questions or you want anything in particular by any means, everything is customizable. So One of the other questions that we get a lot, or feedback I get from people, is the price point. So I want to talk about that. First of all, we are in the business of making money, right? But we're not in the business of ripping people off. That is not what we're about. Not about that at all. All I want to do is provide a very realistic flight simulation experience for any of my customers. You see, I mean, this unit behind me, it's pretty close to a one-to-one replica of the actual cockpit. And I can tell you, working in the professional world for a long time, the only way you got that on an FAA-approved device was if you paid a fortune. Most of the time, they were very generic and very cookie-cutter type builds and simulators. And then bringing this to the home user market, we were one of the first people to do it. So aside from that, the hardware that we're using is not the cheapest. All right. I mean, this is, like I said, this is 2.5 millimeter aluminum. You know, we're putting the, let me flip the camera, putting the upholstery on here. So not only are we paying for the materials and everything like that, we're paying for the labor to do that, and we're using a real aviation professional that does this. So it's not like I'm just taking it to any upholstery place that does sofas, for example, and having them do it. So it's not like that. Our throttle units, for the longest time, like I said, we are going through a change here, but we were using the real hardware. These are the units right out of the aircraft, so we're paying for those parts. And then, of course, you guys all know real sim gear units and their price points. So all of that being said, plus the software, the hardware, the configuration, the labor, the floor space, you can see here, I'll just pan the camera around. It is a mess right now because we're rebuilding some shelving on that wall. But you'll see here, we're running out of floor space just in the amount of projects we've got. And this is not even close to all of them. We've got several more in the pipeline that need to get started. This one is our Beach 99 project. We're gonna be hustling this one out the door really quick. So it's kind of gotten to a stage now where we're working on the wiring. The screens are on their way down from New York right now. And over the next 2 months, this one will be done and ready to deliver. So, and then we've got a Hawker 4000 in the pipeline too. So there's a lot happening. But I just wanted to show off the Cessna 172 a little bit and talk about some of the things that I think a lot of you don't really get to see when you're looking at our stuff on the website, or understand the price point as to why these are more than some of the other ones that are out on the market. I can tell you, like I said, that these are the closest thing you're gonna find to a one-to-one Cessna 172 simulator with an actual aluminum panel, upholstery work, clear shield lighting, all the good stuff. So anyway, if you got any other questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can shoot me an email. You can reach out to our normal email, our chat on our website, or Facebook Messenger, any of those things. Please feel free to comment, and then let us know if we can answer any questions. All right, guys, have a good one.